Hello everyone, and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. I'm thrilled you're here, because today's scoop is the kind that keeps the whole industry buzzing. You saw the title, you felt that jolt of curiosity, and yes, it's exactly what you think. We're digging into what's coming for Mahassine, Merabet and Jenk Torun in 2025. The whispers are growing louder, the clues are lining up, and the picture that's forming is daring, unexpected, and absolutely irresistible for anyone who's been following their paths. If you live for these moments when the curtain lifts just enough to reveal what's next, stay with me all the way through. Every detail counts, and you won't want to miss a single one. Before we jump into the deep end, a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars, it's the perfect time. It costs nothing, it supports our work, and it guarantees you first access to the latest updates, exclusive insider notes, and the stories we spend weeks stitching together. Tap subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's step into the glow of the spotlight. Let's talk about the names that never fail to stir a reaction, Mahassine, Merabet and Jenk Torun. Do you remember that spark the first time they shared a frame? The kind of chemistry that doesn't shout, but hums, a current that moves under the surface and makes everything feel more vivid. Years pass, schedules change, priorities evolve, but there are connections that survive the calendar. And from what we're hearing, 2025 could be a turning point for both of them, individually, and maybe, just maybe, together. We've been watching the signs with a magnifying glass. On one side, there's Mahassine, whose grace and presence have become a brand unto themselves. It's not only the roles she chooses, it's the whole image, meticulous, elegant, quietly intentional. Each photo, each caption, each appearance tells you she's building something brick by brick. The latest? A careful ramp-up that doesn't feel random at all. Behind the silence, there's strategy. And behind the strategy, there's a larger stage than ever before. The rumor mill keeps circling the same idea, an international production that could take her beyond the borders that once defined her career. Not a cameo, not a supporting moment, something central, something designed to let her prove she's more than a beautiful face. Think multilingual scripts, seasoned ensembles, and a director who knows how to turn restraint into power. Is it a film? A prestige series for a global streamer? The whispers don't settle on one answer. Some insist the conversations have included a Hollywood studio, with a script that leans into complex femininity, ambition, and the kind of emotional range that critics love to parse for months. Imagine Mahassine stepping onto the red carpets where the world's cameras wait, Cannes, Venice, maybe even the Dolby Theatre when awards season turns ruthless. Imagine interviews in multiple languages, a wardrobe that sets the tone for fashion season, a performance that shifts the way audiences talk about her. None of this feels far-fetched anymore. Add to that the very real possibility of luxury brand collaborations that go beyond being just the face of a campaign. There's talk of creative input, capsule collections, and a seat at the table where aesthetic decisions are actually made. She's already been shaping trends, 2025 might be the year she starts writing them. And then there's Jenk Torun. The veteran charm, the textured calm, the discipline that comes only from years of knowing what matters on a set. He's been stepping into roles that ask for nuance, for quiet storms, for the kind of restraint that leaves echoes. But lately, the talk around Jenk isn't just about acting. It's about choices. He's been circling projects with sharper edges, independent stories that don't chase applause so much as they demand attention. We keep hearing the same director's name attached to the same rumor, a filmmaker known for arthouse intensity and moral ambiguity, the kind of collaborator who pulls an actor into deeper waters and then lets him swim. The role being described is no easy ride. It's layered, ethically fraught, a character who has to carry his contradictions like a second skin. This is the sort of part that changes the way people think about what an actor can do after decades on screen. But there's another layer. In quiet meetings and hushed production rooms, Jenk is being mentioned not only as a lead but as a potential storyteller from the other side of the camera. He has always watched the moving parts, edits, beats, silences, with the curiosity of someone who understands that scenes live or die in the margins. 2025, some say, could be the year he finally steps behind the monitor, either co-writing a script that's been simmering for years or taking a seat in the director's chair for the first time. Imagine him crafting a narrative that fits his cadence, measured, reflective, but bracing when it needs to be. No gimmicks, just sharp choices. Now, here's where the temperature rises. What's got everyone talking isn't only the individual momentum, it's the possibility that these two arcs will intersect again, professionally, and with purpose. Not a nostalgia play, not a one-off photo op, but a project that places them opposite each other in a way that honors who they are now. If you're hearing a heartbeat, you're not alone. Sources close to both teams have been frank in private and careful in public, and that's usually a sign. Conversations were had. Then they were had again. Some call them preliminary, others say advanced, but the word that keeps surfacing is serious. Why does this idea carry so much weight? Because when Mahassine and Jenk are in sync, the lens loves them. It's the exact mix of composure and vulnerability that makes a scene breathe, the glance that lasts a second too long, the line delivered with a tremor only two people can trigger in each other. Their personal lives have never been for sale, and that's part of why the possibility of a reunion is so powerful. This isn't gossip bait, it's craft. A joint project could give each of them something precious. For Mahassine, it would be a chance to hold her home audience close while she strides into new markets, reminding everyone where the heartbeat started. For Jenk, it would be a return to a marquee moment, approached with the gravity and refinement that come only after miles on the road. What shape could it take? The spectrum is wide. Maybe it's a best-selling novel adaptation, sculpted into a prestige series where longing and regret hang in the air like perfume. Maybe it's an original script, the kind with a locked-room tension and two leads who can carry silence like dialogue. A sequel to an older hit is less likely, but not impossible if the concept earns the right to exist. Whatever it is, if it happens, the reaction will be instant. Timelines will flood, outlets will jostle, and tickets, or streams, will move with the force of memory meeting desire. Publicists are already gaming out how to contain the surge if green lights turn to announcements. We've reached out to people who would know, and they don't say much, which says plenty. The director being courted is described as meticulous, the writer as a minimalist with a taste for emotion that cuts, and the production timeline as ambitious but attainable. Both camps, we're told, are open. Open to challenging material, open to the negotiation needed to align schedules, open to letting the past become fuel rather than baggage. And there have been glimpses, brief exchanges at public events, a shared laugh on a carpet, a photo where the body language is polite but warm. The kind of moments that fuel speculation not because fans want to see something, but because people who do this for a living can read a room. Parallel to that possibility, there's a lot already in motion. Mahassine's international pivot has taken shape in a concrete way. Meetings with streamers have been happening for months, we're told, with two platforms in particular pushing hard. One wants a limited series with a spare, cinematic tone. The other has a larger ensemble drama where she'd thread through the storyline like a light. Either route would bring her to millions of screens where she's known by name but not yet by range. And behind the scenes, luxury brands are discussing projects that would place her at the intersection of culture and commerce, a campaign that plays like a short film, a design partnership that leans into her North African roots and modern sensibility, even a one-off runway moment that could turn into a tradition if it lands. Jenk, meanwhile, has continued his quiet accumulation of capital, the artistic kind. Short films with teeth, indie features that travel to festivals where the applause comes after long silences, not after explosions. He's been pushing into stories that carry social weight without preaching, where character is the argument and the audience is trusted to do the math. He seems ready to distill all that into something bigger, and if the directing talk is genuine, he may test the theory that the best performance he can give right now is the one he elicits from someone else. So, the question you're all asking is the one we're circling back to: what are the plans for 2025? Based on everything we've learned, this is what we can say. The path ahead for both Mahassine and Jenk is a braid, individual strands that are strong on their own, woven together by timing, instinct, and the quiet understanding that some opportunities are bigger than a contract. The joint project isn't locked, but it's not a rumor without roots either. The energy around it is steady, not frantic, and professionals prefer steady. They know that what matters isn't speed, it's aim. If the stars align, the project that reunites them could own the conversation. Imagine a romantic drama that doesn't flinch from the messes adults make. Imagine a sharp comedy where timing is everything and their glances do half the work. Imagine a psychological thriller where they're magnets and mirrors at once, pulling and reflecting until you can't tell which is the hunter and which is the escape. Any of those could work if the script respects their intelligence and gives them space to breathe. And if the joint project pauses or pivots? Then 2025 is still a victory lap in the making. For Mahassine, the international leap is real, the fashion talks are real, and the desire from global audiences to see her stretch is very real. For Jenk, the indie momentum is cresting at the exact moment when a seasoned actor can jump lanes without apologizing. Add the possibility of directing or co-writing, and you get a year that looks less like a plan and more like a thesis. We'll keep listening at the doors we know, reading the footprints others miss, and updating you the moment anything shifts. That's what we do here at Secrets Behind the Stars, and you know we don't tease what we can't track. For now, hold on to this. The anticipation around 2025 for Mahassine Merabet and Jenk Torun isn't hype in search of substance. It's a set of trajectories converging because the work and the will are both in the right place. To wrap it all up, here's the pulse. Mahassine is poised for a breakthrough that stretches across borders, with global streamers courting her and luxury houses courting her taste. Jenk is courting depth, chasing scripts that refuse to flatter and projects that let him build, not just perform, with a legitimate shot at stepping behind the camera. And the wild card, the possibility of standing opposite each other again, could be the catalyst that turns a strong year into a landmark. The chemistry they carried before hasn't evaporated, it's matured. If they choose to ignite it again, the flame won't just be bright, it will be controlled, deliberate, and unforgettable. Now I want to hear from you. If this collaboration lands, what would you want to see? A love story that aches, a clever dance of wit, or a slow burn thriller where trust is the trap? Tell me in the comments. I read them all, and, as always, your insights shape where we go next. If today's deep dive gave you something to think about, like the video, share it with the friend who always knows the tea, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Big things are coming, and when the first domino falls, you'll want to be here the second it happens. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep your eyes on the stars, because they are about to move.